Hi, John here. Today is Sunday the 7th of May 2017. I'm just going to give a short brief on 42 pages of a writ warrant. These are just pages I've put together to take up to Waitangi on the 19th and 20th of May for a meeting, or hui, with the chiefs up there, and it'll be around the flag, this flag here, the 1834 declaration of an emergency or a state of emergency in this country because of the financial position it's in at the moment, with $500 billion in debt, and it will never be able to get out of that debt situation until we put this flag in its proper place with Britain as their partners. Since you can see the Scottish wanting to leave Britain and go into the EU Parliament, this is going to be a separation of powers. And also I've noticed that Prince Philip has retired from his position as a Commander-in-Chief of the Navy when he hasn't even driven a boat before, and it's just been an illusion, as you can see in the Freemasons, that Mohi Manukau was a part of 50 years of service in Helensville, the Grand Lodge there, and I was party to a lot of information that we shared in his title, the Manukau Moriori title, as with my own Tahitian title from Rapa Nui and Raiatea Island to the east coast. He did say, while he was alive then in 2008, that our family was part of the Po family in the Kaiparas, and that has a connection to the Ratana Church with the Wānoas down there as well. So we shared a lot. I've got videos of him marking out all the grave sites, the unmarked grave sites, right from Rafiti up north into the Dargaville area and Paihia area, and down through Kaihu, down to Auckland, Helensville, through Helensville, and to Auckland, down to Parihaka, and to Ratana areas, and back to Waikato, Hamilton, to Manukau Harbour itself, and Auckland titles. So I've spent a lot of time with him. I have a lot of his information still with me, and putting it online as being a direct connection to the Freemasons in Edinburgh, England. That's where Prince Philip lives, that's his area, and also the Freemasons Grand Lodge there as well. So that was tied to the Manukau Company, a registered company in Edinburgh, with the land conveyancing lawyers Roy and Wood. They put the title together for the Manukau Land Company that was with the native chiefs, Chief Tira Waikato Wharaherehere Manukau, when he went to England in 1820 with Hongi Hika, being more Cook Islander, native. I won't say anything about Maori because it doesn't come into the picture of a Maui crown history. There's no such thing as Maori all the way from 1830, King William IV, to 1834. That's cutting off there with this flag at 1834 back to 1830 and to 1831. Church, St. Mary's Church in Tiki Tiki is connected to the Manukau title, and Rewharewa Manukau 1862 land transfer between Auckland Province, Tiki Tiki and Kororareka in Russell Bay of Islands, Okiato Native Court. So that's tying with this flag, and now that's the Manukau story of Rewharewha and Tira Waikato Wharahere Manukau, and Mohi Manukau, Te Mati Manukau, Paramount Chief Mohi Te Mati Manukau IV went after Rewharewha Manukau's title to keep that going from Tira Waikato in England, living there for at least 10 years and sorting out these land titles with the Freemasons, I must say, in Edinburgh, and also with William Cornwallis Simons, Lieutenant in the 28th Regiment of the Royal Navy of Britain. And so it was that Admiralty of this flag of King William and that Lieutenant William Cornwallis that put this real estate title together as a land agent, and in the Navy as captain had the authority of the King to put that first title together for New Zealand, and it became the benchmark of a precedent case for all the rest of the native countries in the world from this model as being small enough but not too big enough to make a title case precedent. Okay, so that's how this began, and I'm telling the story to take it up to Waitangi so that this Paramount Chief will transfer to the 4 Paramount Chiefs that I'm choosing, because I'm holding these titles as a surrogate King William IV to speak for him, because no one else is, and to speak for Paramount Chief Te Mati Mohi Manukau IV and his documents of titles I have, and his birth certificate titles I have here with me, and his Freemason material that one day I will be talking with the Freemasons to clear up the matter of the titles with them and the rest of the countries in the world that are using the Scottish rights of this Freemason business that is private and the biggest secret in the world, hidden from public view as being private. Everything in Admiralty is private. The only way they could get it legally was through this king and this flag of King William IV in our time. And so Mohi Manukau, I'll start with page 1. I'm just going to go through the 42 pages on this video. Hopefully I can get it in an hour and get it all in. So these are photos that I'm sending up to the chiefs up north, and there's Bundy, Waitai, as being for the Cook Island up Te Hapua, and there's Manahi, Parapara Mohini for the Moriori Manukau for this title, as being Parapara Manukau in the lands up north and the east coast and the South Island. Those two names go together. The Parapara and the Manukau names go together on this country, and the Chathams where they came from. That was a Moriori country, and they came here and put their names on this country, New Zealand. Okay, so I'm just going to go through these so that you have an idea when you see them online. I'll write them up as best I can, because I have to try and write it and think what to write at the same time. I have been doing a lot of research, that's why I haven't done anything on it, because I'm researching all the time. So this is the first of the 42 pages you're looking at. The first page is the 1830 birth certificate of Admiralty King William IV title, and you can see clearly on the birth certificate the date there, 1830, as being Mohi Manukau's family. And him there with the carving, you see that carving, the wooden carving he found, or a Pākehā found in the Kaipara Harbour. It came out from under the mud, and he brought it to Mohi because it was something that was growing hairs on it, and it just kept growing. So Mohi took hold of it and cleaned it up, and then he told me the story about it. It is the 4 pillars and a parliament for the natives, chiefs, the 4 main tribes of Waikato, Aotea, Ngāpuhi and Waikato. So those are the 4 tribes with these 13 chiefs that signed to the British title 1834 with Clendon, Captain James Reddy Clendon in the Okiato courthouse in Russell, or Kororareka, Russell, and that formed the basis of the Manukau title with the Rewharewa Manukau up there in Rāwhiri, his memorial stone just by the gate, as being his title on top of that hill in that urupa. I've got all the videos of it with Mohi and I going up the stairs, steps up to the urupa to claim his ancestors' rights. And so that's, the birth certificate says I was here. This is my certificate under these British laws. Okay, and then we got Chris Finlayson, the biggest crook out of them all. He's the Attorney General for New Zealand Government in exile in Wellington, New Zealand, New South Wales and New Zealand Company that have forged the Manukau title into the Ngāti Whātua title with Tinana, Tamaki and Tuaere names on their chiefs on their title, and we're coming with this Manukau title on behalf of those chiefs up in the northern area and Hauraki and Arawa. I'm talking about Te Arawa in the Kaipara region of Te Arawa, the Tamate Kapua and Ihenga. The Ihenga was the explorer, and so his name is on the title, Ihenga, on those Arawa titles in the Kaipara Harbour that Mohi's saying. Alright, so that's where that chief comes from, and also the Waikato chief, and the Ngāpui chief being Kingi Taurua, Chief Kingi Taurua. He's in that position, and also we have Jim Wikotu for the East Coast region, and to the part of the Waikato title and the East Coast and the Potiki Matatua Waka. So that is his part, those 4 chiefs who I've chosen, and it will cover in for the Arawa chief as well in the Kaipara. These chiefs will cover in for that. If I haven't found one for Te Arawa, I haven't as yet. So I'll just leave that wide open, but there's 4 chiefs, that's what Mohi said, 4 chiefs on 4 tribes of that contract. It's a private contract in this flag at 1834 with this chief 1862 Rewharewa Manukau to the 1834 and Hongi Hika, and also Te Waikato Wharehere Manukau in England. Okay, so that's that. So Chris Finlayson is there. We've got some arrows on the photos pointing to that carving, which is a native title to this country, because of the Manukau titles gone right over the country. And also we've got King William there with the Moai statue, the Moai crown title, and also the ship of Admiralty at the top with the flag on it. That's the ship up at Waitangi, next to the Waitangi Marae King's Bench Native Grand Jury Court, trial court. The Marae itself is the highest court in the world of Admiralty, with this flag flying on top of that mast of the ship that this hui is going to be about on the 19th and 20th of May 2017, to clear that matter up. So I'm going to go there with all the history of what I'm saying on this document as being fact citations in this video, and the writings that I put online as being admissible evidence in any court of law in the world. and including in our own native grand jury trial court in Waitangi Marae, as well as the Waitangi Marae, and as well as the Te Hikua Te Ika Marae up in Te Hapua area up north with Bundy Waitai, and also with Manahi, Te Mati, Manahi, Parapara, Mohini, being in the Kaikohi area, Kaikohi area, and also the East Cape. He covers for the area of Marangaro, Ruatoria and Tiki area, Ki Waiapu area. I just can't think of it at the moment, but he's covering that Potikirua Ki Waiapu boundary area of East Cape in our family, and from the Moriari side there, and our Jim Wikato is covering our Moai East Cape Te Pito to Te Pito East Island, Rapanui side of that title as well. So that's that picture. We've got private land purchase. You can see the document there, private land purchase. That's this flag of Admiralty. That's the only way you get a private. In the courts, they go to the back room, which is settling a deal in the private. They're going into the King's Bench Court at the back of the court. We're opening up the courts with our own chiefs as the King's Bench Court in the front, not at the back anymore. So we've got 1831 private land purchases here, and I've got this flag there with a declaration of war on it, but we have 1831 on that document as being Tiki Church St. Mary's, Church of England, title, Land Register of Births, B-E-R-T-H, birth the ship of Admiralty into Hicks Bay on the east coast of the Marangara box, and also in the Potikirua area of Hicks Bay. The ship of Captain James Reddy Clinton, 42, came into the harbour there and parked in Hicks Bay and walked around the East Cape and up to Whakawhitira native court of these titles of the 1831 register on the birth certificate, B-I-R-T-H, as being an instrument for financial investment interests of the land to Britain. That's our title to the private contract that I'm talking about. I'll be explaining up in Waitangi, but it's best me saying this on the video as being evidence. That's fact. I'm saying these things because they're written in these documents that are really legal documents dated in Wellington, Auckland, and also a deed of receipt. A deed, 1862, a deed of receipt with Refa Manukau's name on the document. I've got arrows pointing straight across to the other side, to the Tamaki, from Tamaki to in Auckland, Makaurau in Auckland, right? So we've got the documents there. I just have to expand it a bit just to outline what it says. Says in that Puponga Manukau heads, where the titles came in from Britain. I won't go over that, I'll just jump on to the next page. And so we've got Chris Funnison there. He's a debtor, levy debtor, man with his name. We're pulling them out one by one and putting the bill straight on them, straight from the King of England, surrogate, that's me. And until we get King Ernest Augustus V in, he's already the King of Britain, UK, Hanover, and New Zealand and Pacific Islands, and the world, under the New World Order title. On this flag, the King is the only one that has the papal bull title of a king to make money out of Britain London, Westminster. So we'll just got those pictures there of the pound notes as debtor instruments against them, and the Queen there wanted. Okay, so we've got King William with Moai statue standing in London as our memorial, our own Tahitian family, royal family of Rapanui to here, Mokonui on my land block, and Tiki Tiki on my land block with Herewini Marae and St Mary's Church on my Wānoa estate lands. I can talk for myself, the other families can talk for themselves. I'm telling my own story about how the British got here on our lands with this flag and signed up the register with our names on it as being instruments of a contract. Right? We signed a contract on the birth certificate there and signed a contract up at Okiato Native Court. So that's Whakawhitira Native Court below Mount Hikarangi, that contract with the birth certificate, and the other contract up at Kororareka and Okiato Native Court in Bay of Islands as a land title. So the land title and the birth certificate title goes together in the papal bull titles of the church and state. Okay, you got that? So that's what I'm just putting there, and private purchase right, we'll go to page 2. I'll try and skip through these before the video runs out to get as much as we're on page 2. Page 2 has got the whakapapa of Mohi, Paramount Mohi Te Mati Manukau, dressed in his Freemasons Lodge outfit as a member, a sworn member to secrecy, but he told me anyway. He's dead now. I've got all the stuff, so I'm not a Freemason, but I know how it operates and what he said to me. I have all that information. So his whakapapa is there for the 4 chiefs on that carving, and also whakapapa with the Wānoa and the Rogan judges who put these together in Auckland and Okiata and Tiki Tiki. He put those titles together, the Rogans, in Auckland provincial titles at the time. Not preemptive, this is dated right on the 1831, the 1833 when James Busby, British resident, was acknowledged by King William IV as being a British country state until the flag was implemented in 1834 as the flag of New Zealand on the 20th of March 1834. This flag was the flag of New Zealand, then straight to King William IV, and still is. It still is in our contract of those 2 contracts. The flag contract at Okiato is still contract. No one can stop it or change it. Only us with the higher title from Britain. Okay, no one has that title. This is the title right here. This is the title right here, and the birth certificate of the Manukau family. And this whakapapa to Rogan marrying the Manukaus in the Kaipara, and Rogan marrying the Wānoas in our land block, the Manukau land blocks, and this church in Tiki Tiki, 1831. Okay, so this 1831, 1862, Rewhare for Manukau signs with the Crown. After the treaty was signed, he was the one that owned the title, that sold the land. Okay, I'm saying these things. And Te Waikato Wharehere was the other one that sold the lands to William Cornwallis Simons. Hang on, I'll just see who this. Hello? Hello, is that you, Kevin?
Yeah, it's me.
Oh, right. Yeah, where were we yesterday?
Yeah. You're not sitting on top of a roof protesting about something?
Yeah. Oh, flying with a helicopter over your head. No, I'm just putting together the documents now and been on the Freemason stuff to fit into Mohi Manukau as a Freemason, and so his title is in Edinburgh. It's there in Edinburgh in the Manukau company there,
Yeah.
And so that's fixed. I've got to take that up to Waitangi and claim that with the chiefs, and I think they got that now.
Yeah.
So that's all I have to do to convert it, and I'm just putting it all on Facebook again, and it'll be widely seen, and then it'll be less to talk about. They'll know when I get up there, just sign the documents and that's it.
Right.
So I'm able to go straight into any law office or anywhere and tell them that this is a title higher than, it says that in the Freemasons there is another title higher than what they've got, because they keep things in a secret society. That's their rule, is they don't have truth deeds. So I'm just running with a truth of deed title, and that they don't have. They're the ones that get all the local governments contracts and everything like that sorted, and gives the work to their elite people first before anybody else gets contracts. You know, I'm talking about Hogan's, the roading and all that sort of thing, council jobs.
Yeah.
And they determine part of the law of who's allowed to say something and who's not in government. They force the government into them and what they say. The government listens to them, even though they can't prove anything. You see? It says that they can't prove that they have the right to the pyramids. They're saying the pyramid looks like what they do, and then they say Maori looks like what their title is here. Right? They look like Maoris. The Moai statue looks like Maoris. That's what they say here, and they take the title.
Right.
So all I have to say is, where'd you get it from? See? Where'd you get it from? They'll end up on this Manukau title from the Freemasons in Edinburgh. The Freemasons' main lodge is in Edinburgh. And so the Freemasons' lodge, the main lodge of all the Freemasons, is in Edinburgh. And so that went together with this Manukau title. Everything of land titles in the world was done there. And funny enough, Prince Philip just resigned as being the Commander-in-Chief of the Royal Navy, and that's his place, Edinburgh. So it's catching up with them. You see, so it'll be strange not to see who's going to try and take his place. Because they're not even ship people.
Right.
Or know anything about Admiralty. They're only there as a token or covering myths. That's what their oath is, myths. They say that in the video I just put up. And they're starting to expose them as being, they have no proof. But it's what they carry on doing. And it's not their fault that you know, they're making stories for themselves.
Yeah.
See, so I have to try and convert all of that back into cashable stuff for the wrongs that they've broken the laws of our country by putting those symbols and stuff here.
Yeah.
And making everybody subjected to it when they have no deed of disclosure of who they are and how they're making money out of everybody.
Yeah.
You see, so that's my point, is I've got a deed here, of the Manukau deed here, in black and white, with the receipt on it, straight from Roy and Wood lawyers, conveyance lawyers, in Edinburgh, and a lieutenant, Royal Navy 28th Regiment officer who was the land agent that sold the Manukau land to Cornwallis. That's the land agent, sold it through those lawyers to Manukau Heads before the Scottish came there. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So when they came to Auckland in 1840, they mysteriously, Cornwallis Simon, the son of the lieutenant, disappeared.
Yes.
And then they switched the titles from him, the transfer from Te Waikato was living in London from 1820 to 1830. He sold the lands to Simon's. Simon's son came here. When he got here, the boat mysteriously sank with him in it. And then these crooks here picked up the title and put the Ngāti Whātua's chiefs' names on it. That's what I've been arguing all these years, me and Mohi Manukau. Oh, they're not the right owners. And Mohi was trying to tell them, no, we're the owners, not them. So the Crown just ignored them, not anymore. Because Ngāpui is listening to their story now, and I said, look, don't worry about it, he's dead now, so I'm here, so I'll make the decisions for Mohi, because he was sworn to secrecy in the Freemasons, but he told me anyway.
Right.
You see, so he told me everything. Now I've got it stuck in my head, but I'm not a Freemason.
Right.
You see, so I'm saying things that are true, and it's up to anybody in that outfit to say it's not true.
Yep.
That they have used Manukau's name on the land to take their titles over this country.
So to them to prove it.
Yeah, they've got nothing to prove it other than Mohi Manukau being a Freemason.
Yep.
Right? And as far as I'm concerned, Mohi Manukau is a chief with all the other chiefs. And so I'm saying the chiefs here, the 4 I pick, is going to take over that title because these are living, he's dead.
Yep.
And so they succeed in that line of paramount, including Kingi Tauroa, as being a chief of Hongihika. Right?
Yep.
And the other one, Waitai, is a chief of Hongihika as well. So you got, these are only the 12 chiefs, not all the rest of the hanger-oners that signed later. This is only the first ones that signed. That's the contract. They got the 1835, they ran off with the 1835. See, Mohi Manukau was stuck in the 1835 part of the flag, and he wasn't familiar with the real estate side of the 1834 Admiralty.
Yeah.
See, so he got lost with all these Maoris. And they didn't figure out that there's 2 sides of it. There's a British one, title, in the church, Tiki Tiki, down the east coast. There's that one. And that one had Admiralty birth certificate title, but this other one up at Russell has the land title.
Oh, yeah.
With the chiefs. The other one was the birth certificate in the church.
Yeah.
See? So I've married the 2 up, and the receipt I'm just looking at now, this Clendon guy, the Captain Clendon on his ship up at Okiato, was in Auckland and joined the titles from Russell to Auckland province titles to the east coast, right? He joined those 3 together with the church in Auckland to up in Russell with Rogan. The Rogan that married my family and married the Manukau family, right? Yeah, so that's where I got it from the Kaipara. The Rogan was running the native court in Helensville. And that's where they did all the titles for up north. They did it there, and this court in Whakawhitira, below the Hikurangi mountain down the east coast. That's where the native court in Gisborne is still there now. The main native court in this country is still there. It's just run off from Whakawhitira into Gisborne. So I'm just hooking those titles together. See, it's going to be big. You either go with them, you know, with the Freemasons, or you, if you can't beat them, you join them. So all I'm saying is I'm going along with these titles to take a controlling interest in what they have set up and leave it as it still is, but stick, this is what I've been trying to do, is stick the Manukau's name on their titles. You see? They've skimmed them off and left them out of their titles over here on the land information title. So that converts to cash. When it's put this way in real estate terms, it was a bad title. You've heard of bad titles. A bad title is just not clear. of encumbrance or not clear of who you got it from. Right? On the transfer, when you buy a property, you're supposed to check the titles on what's attached to it. So they deliberately left the name out of Manukau on the titles, yet they can't prove who they got it from. You know, I've been challenging them that they got the wrong Maoris. There's no Maoris on these titles. There's no Maoris, only from 1945. And the argument is this: from 1840, that's they can't go back into our private area of 1831 to 1834 or even 1835, but I'm keeping away from 1835. And with Kingi Taurua and my daughter putting up this flag up at the RSA, they've actually got it up flying now. In Point Chev, that's where these Scottish people went over there. They got kicked over there from off the property that they're supposed to get at Cornwallis. Because it was bush and there was nothing surveyed. It was illegal, but there was nothing surveyed. But that's how they sold the land, the Manukau land, from England without looking at it, because they took the chief's word for it.
Yeah, obviously. They
had a live Manukau there who was learning English in Cambridge University, and his marae and his pa is Mangatotari up in Cambridge. You see, the name Cambridge, that's his land over there, not Tainui's. Tainui's taken the Waikato name for themselves. And so their treaty claim, I keep saying to them, why are you using Manukau's name on your treaty claims? If Tainui was those chiefs, the Ngāti Whātua chiefs, why didn't they have their names on the thing instead of the Manukau's names? And the Cornwallis names. Why didn't you put your name on it? Because you can't prove that the Cornwallis sold the land to you. See, Cornwallis didn't sold the land to you. The land, where he got it from. Right, where he got it from his father, who got it from the Manukau chief in England. You see. And that's what's going to stuff them all out. It's starting to sink in now because I got too many videos saying that. So that's how it's a bit. I forget, that guy emailed me again. He said he left some tools at your place.
Oh, what's the name again?
Jones, I think. Hang on, I'll have a look online. Hang on, gotta open it up again. Gerry Jones, I think. Hang on, I'm just opening it up. Gary Jordan. He painted your boat. He painted the boat.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, what shall I tell him?
Oh shit.
I didn't want to say anything. I said, no, I'll let you know what he says.
Yeah, crikey. I don't think there's so all of that left. I query most things out.
So what shall I tell him?
Because he said, don't worry about it. If you can't really, if he's not back in time, just don't forget about it, And so that's pretty much what I've done.
Oh, okay.
I'm annoyed when you come back after all that time. We've been gone for Solidar for about how many years now? 3 years?
Yeah, 3 years, yeah, maybe all that long.
Yeah.
Yeah, so no, I didn't want to give him your number or anything. I won't give your number to anybody. So I just tell him it's a bygone thing. Yeah. No, that's all that was.
Yeah, it's okay.
But
Oh shit. Yeah, well see, strange. He should have only kept in touch with me, and because I had no idea. And eventually, he just had tools, lots of old bloody panel painting, just old tools that I thought, well, I'm not going to be carrying these all over the bloody country, so...
Dispose of them,
so...
That's all right then. I'll just tell them that, so we can get on with it. So my immediate thing now is to put all these documents and finish, because I've got 42 of them online, and I've just got to put the stories with them, and then go up north, and they'll swear and sign the writ warrant, or seizure warrant, and so we can start using that instrument legally, and I'll go from there. I still have to decide what's the next move after that.
Oh, of course.
As soon as I get the consent from the chiefs, this means everyone has a chance to go there. And it's not our fault if the other ones don't turn up.
Right.
From around, because it's well advertised, everybody knows it's on, and with being on Facebook and rolling it over and over, from that I can legally say that I've got a strong enough case to even go and seize Cook Street, because now those police up there that are looking for my computer, that well, they know who's got it, but and all my stuff in it, then I'm holding that over them, and over the policeman that was more or less going to cover up for them, and from up there. So I left that on the side, because no one can sort of steal anything that looks like this, we'll know for sure. But they want to put the flag up now. If they put the flag up on the ship, then the government can't touch them. That's what the latest is. That they want the hui there for, and they can't stop it the same way as they couldn't stop me from going into Waitangi Marae. Because I'm there, because Kingi says those are my carvings in there from Tiki Tiki. You see? You see what's happening? They put those things in there as if they owned them. And then they put the Ngāti Pro chiefs up in Ngāti Whātua to run the whole place, the Tibble fella. He's been there for years, and I've been trying to knock him out of there. And he's going to get a bill now because he's back down on our land blocks. I'll get him. Yeah, he's over there, and he knows I'm after him. I've been after him for a long time. For interfering, tampering with a contract. See, it's bad. They're tampering with a contract. This flag is a receipt of a contract. And they changed it. The Maoris changed it. The biggest enemy in this country is Maori. That's the biggest problem. Is it was created by the white man, so that they can mirror themselves, like these Freemasons. They mirror themselves as if they're you. Right. So their sort of oath is not widely known until now on the videos that I'm looking at. They're not blowing the whistle. They're actually telling you now that part of what they are disclosing of their business. You see, because now they know we've got the flag, we can open them up. This flag will split them right open and just go to court and say, where did you get that from? How did you get all that money? Whose authority did you use? What flag did you use? They'll always end up, the government here and its kupapa Maoris gave the Queen the consent for them to use the flag, or gave the Governor General the consent to use the flag to sell lands anywhere in the world. You see? Because it's of that British native land title. It went from that year, 1830, to all the other countries over the top of the King George titles. See, that's where they brought that federal state government in. What was it? 1933. They bankrupted America under this title. See, you can only do it with an existing Admiralty title. You see? And then King William IV was the last king on earth, and they can't get another king, a king of England or a king of Britain, because you can't have an England, but you can have a Britain. You can't go over the king that's there already.
Yeah, no.
There's already a king there, so they're headed to do that. That's why they're in a spot of bother with the Queen. And I just had a look, she's not a head of state of New Zealand. They're in more trouble. She's a head of some countries, but not in New Zealand. So they're using America to get to New Zealand. You see? They're trying to get something legal going, like the TPPA, and whip all those Pacific countries in the TPPA and New Zealand with it to make them use the Queen from Britain, from America.
Do you think New Zealand's got a sub-agreement with Australia, with Canberra?
Yeah, so that Canberra is the Queen Victoria title that was shifted from Sydney to New South Wales to Canberra. That's the Commonwealth country title there. That's the Commonwealth of Australia. They're using Te Ture Whenua 1993 Native Land Act, this one. There's no 93 act in the world, only this one. The Te Ture Whenua 1938. They've gone and stolen that one and using it. I told them to stop using it. And I told them not to use Queen Victoria as their oath of office in Canberra. I've got all the videos there, and the letter sent off to them, and next minute they changed their oath of office to the community and not to the Queen. They swear their oath of office to the community. The same as over here. They can't swear to anything. You see, that's what I said in the court, my court hearing. You see, they've lost against me in the court. That means they'll lose the next case. With all the chiefs with me. See, so proving title is a big issue without an original deed. So I've now got the deed of Mohi Manukau's title and birth certificate, and I've got the deed from the St. Mary's Church in Tiki to the St. Mary's Church in Parnell, where they slid the Catholic Church and put it next to it. You remember that?
I'm not sure about that, no.
The Catholic Church was across the road in Parnell. And then when that was in 2008, when the Queen signed a deal with the Pope that the two churches would merge, that's when they slid this church across the road over here. Why would they want to slide the church across the road for? They said, they slid across to sell the real estate land underneath the church on the other side of the road. No, they put the church next to the thing as a convenience of marriage into the papal bull. See? The papal bull church title in both churches. To swoop on, to steal Westminster's title and take it into the EU Parliament for their new title of papal bull over there. That's why I've got them tied in knots now in the Brexit kick, and Scotland is running off the EU as if they've got that title with these Freemasons. So if the Scotland goes out, they lose this title in the Westminster of all these titles. They can't take this title over there without the King being in, because King William owns Brussels and Netherlands. He's a Dutch. Right? He owns New Zealand as Dutch Zealand. You see, so the Queen's gone and hidden under him, but that's not her bloodline. That's Ernest Augustus and King George III, the father of King William IV, and King George IV, and not Queen Elizabeth, King George VI. Those are the ones that murdered King George V to put in King William so they can knock him off and put Queen Victoria to take the Rothschilds out with the title, with after all the hard work of the Admiralty of King William IV setting up the stock exchange in New York. He set that up. He set that up before he became king. He set that up. So I'm whipping that lot in this title as well. You see? So between that, there's a lot that I'm putting on paper, especially on the videos, because I won my case on the video. Because when my barrister says to the judge, or John wants to say something, the judge says there's no need to, it's all on YouTube. And that was it. I started using YouTube more to make statements that I accuse you singly, so I can string them off one by one now.
Yeah.
I'll pull them out one by one under this jurisdiction. See? It's the jurisdiction. And New Zealand's jurisdiction will come under the jurisdiction of the Waitangi Marae King's Bench Native Court. That's what I set up.
Yep.
Inside those maraes up there. Yeah, the Maoris couldn't see it, but they're only just woken up to that now. They wondered why I was having a hui up there. I says, well, would they give me a marae for nothing? If I didn't go in there, I've gone in there for my tupunas in those carvings, and I've gone in there for Kingi.
Yeah.
To claim his land. He wants his land back. I said, well, this is how you do it.
Yeah.
And so that's what led that to, and Kingi says, I can't see my land coming back. I says, Kingi, you got to do the paperwork. You got to get those in order before you can get the land back, because that's how they got it.
Yes.
Yeah. So you got to go back and follow the ship backwards.
Good logic.
Yeah.
Simple logic, yeah.
Yeah. So he's got it now. He's happy chappy now, but you know he's just he's lucky that he's got my daughter with him, because she's filled him in more. Now she's supporting me now after all this time, because we're in battles with each other. One trying to
she's finding sense of that,
yeah, she's finding why I'm doing it, and she's been claiming the flag. Now she's pushing the flag on 1835, and now she's scratching her head because I'm talking 1834. See? But the thing is, it's visual. It's visual that she's stuck it up and they've acknowledged it.
Yep.
And the army has acknowledged it, and it's flying now.
Right.
It's flying right in the right place in Point Chev of those Scottish people. And with all their Highland things flying around, they're watching what I'm doing. And a lot of them will be Freemasons, because the Freemasons, when Moi Manukau died, they wanted all the stuff that I've got back. I never go back. You see? I keep it for evidence in what I'm doing for them. I'm giving them a hand because they've got the brains. I don't have the brains of them putting all those things together around the world. So why would I go and knock them out when I can't anyway? Why don't I just go with them and claim some of the rights that they have? You see? It's going to be a deal of all deals, so that they keep going, but they leave us alone, and we have parts of the fortunes of the king, because they don't have a contract. We do.
Yep.
No one has a contract with that king. We do. And I've got the receipts in black and white for those Scots having paid a deposit in a fee simple title before they left England, for that land they didn't get.
Yeah.
They got some other land as a compromise, but it wasn't the one on the document. They paid for it. See? So you can't go and buy a piece of land and someone says, oh, we'll give you this other one, because that one's got no, it wasn't surveyed.
Yeah, that's right.
See, it wasn't surveyed, so there was a bad title. That's what you call a bad title. It's not surveyed or discovered, or it's not properly outlined of its fence and its boundary and its owners you bought it from. And now I got the receipts. It clearly says Refa Manukau on the receipt. Yeah, and it says they changed the name of Refa Manukau to Rewa. See? So these are the Ngāpuhi people changed their name to Rewa and said, no, that's not that's our tupuna, that's not the Moriori, that's ours. Mui just laughed. Mui didn't know anything about real estate. He only knew what Freemasons were doing, because he was the one in putting the stick in surveying the land and selling it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he knew he was selling Manukau land.
Yeah.
Yeah, and those people hated him. Kingi hated him. Every time I sat with him in Waitangi, they'd shut me down and, you know, more or less hated me being with Manukau. But now they realise Manukau was trying to tell them, look, come this way. But they just wouldn't. They wouldn't talk to someone they were slaughtering. Well, he says, those guys, those fellows, you see those fellows there? They slaughtered all my people. Yeah, and they've gone and I watched them digging all my tupunas. Those fellows there, those fellows' ancestors. I saw them digging all my ancestors off One Tree Hill. And they put Campbell up there, because Campbell's supposed to be the governor of New Zealand. But that didn't work out because the switch was on. So I'm proving that the government here is got no queen to govern anyway, but I don't want them out. I want them left there bleeding without power.
Right.
Because I'm telling Ngāpuhi, leave them to govern themselves and their people, and we'll carry on, and we need them for debtors.
Yep.
Because if you bankrupt them, you're not going to end up with anything.
That's right. Yeah, that's exactly like me and the IRT, isn't it? Yeah,
So,
they bankrupted me, now they get nothing.
yeah, so I've got to cite everything where they've been. Where their name is on the documents of land, and take those lands and tell them